pictured myself opposite me, what I'd say to a bride in this situation. It only took a moment to find it, something I'd told countless brides who were waiting for their grooms. I'd give them a reassuring smile and say, "You know how guys are. Throw a few extra buttons on a shirt, and it becomes impossible to put on." And it was true. I'd seen guy after guy stare at a tux like it was the Rubik's Cube of clothing. Girls had to deal with strapless bras and corseted backs and buttons and ribbons and tiny eyelets that would make you go blind if you stared at them for too long. But hand a cummerbund and a bow tie to a guy, and he just blinked at them, mouth hanging open. I took a deep breath of ocean-scented air and held it in until my heart rate returned to normal, and I was more tangerine than fuchsia. And even though the disembarking passenger still made me want to yell, "Why don't you take a picture? It'll last longer," it also made me realize just how many people there were. Of course it was taking Grant forever. It's not like he'd shove old people and kids out of the way to get to me. Maybe I should have just let him dress in cargo shorts and flip-flops like he'd wanted. But I'd gone along with the let's get married on a cruise idea, let go of all my old wedding plans, and embraced the impulsivity. I still wanted the fancy white dress and to see Grant in a tux, though. I had a right to ask for those things, didn't I? Of course I did. Although suddenly not letting him see me in the dress until we were outside seemed silly. Stupid tradition. It wasn't like it'd even count, because he'd still see me before the ceremony. I'd simply wanted it to be out in the sunshine, where the light would catch the intricate beading of the bodice, instead of a tiny dark cabin where moving meant whacking a knee or elbow on something. I shifted my weight from my right foot to my left, and the heel of my rhinestone and pearl-encrusted pump sank in the ground, most likely getting coated in dirt. It'll all be okay once he gets here. Then these silly little details won't matter. In fact, they'd be a great story to tell our friends and family and our future kids when they asked about our wedding day. For 15 minutes, I did a pretty good job of convincing myself everything was awesome, totally on track. Not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. I didn't let the doubtful voice in the back of my head take over. But then the rush of people coming off the ship slowed to a trickle. Only the occasional couple or family here and there. My breaths came faster and faster, and my entire body started shaking, and the world around me blurred. "He changed his mind," I whispered. "He doesn't want to marry me." As quietly as the words came out, they smothered the air around me and echoed in my head. "He doesn't want me." This wasn't happening. Couldn't be happening. I fought the urge to fall to the ground in my dress and cry. I told myself that there was still time. No reason to freak out. Grant loved me. He wouldn't do this to me. I decided that I'd give him 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes until we had a very awkward boat ride home. Part 1. Fanatic Fuchsia. Severe. Severe risk of meltdown, crying jags, and or bridezilla-like behavior. Men are like puppies. You'll get attached, bring them home, and they will shit all over everything you love. Unknown. Chapter 1. The swirly red letters on the front door of my office seemed to taunt me this morning. "Ready to wed," they proclaimed. There were even matching vinyl hearts on either side. I wanted to punch through the glass, watch the words and hearts shatter to the ground. I might even welcome the pain that the shards would be sure to bring to my knuckles, simply to have something to detract from the hollow ache that had settled over my heart. Maybe this was a bad idea. I had to face my office sometime, though, and with a client coming in first thing tomorrow morning, that only left today to do it without an audience. I didn't want to end up crying at the sight of wedding paraphernalia during the consult. Brides had dibs on breakdowns in this office, and as I'd gotten to relive every